In these days, there are more than 100,000 Flutter apps in the Play Store. Flutter is created and maintained by Google that is extremely fast, easy to learn and helps you to build mobile apps very quickly. With Flutter, you can create desktop, Android, iOS, web and bunch of other native applications, which makes it so much popular among tech stacks, and this all is done using a single code base, which means that you can write the code once and then run it on anywhere. Flutter is a cross-platform and completely new framework that was developed in 2018 and which uses a completely new language called as Dart, which is based on object-oriented programming. So if you know C++, Java or C#, then it will be much easier for you to understand Dart. But if you are completely new to Dart, then it is also fine. In this video, I will cover the complete roadmap of Flutter and we will see how to become a profitable and successful Flutter developer for the year 2022. So starting off, first of all, you need to learn the basics of Dart programming language. Like you should learn about variables and its types that are numbers, strings, booleans, lists and maps. After that, you should know about functions, how to pass parameters to a function, how to call a function, etc. Then you need to learn about operators and how they are used in conditional statements such as if and else if. And then you need to know about control statements that are basically loops such as for, while and do while loops, etc. After that, you need to learn about classes and object-oriented programming. Basically, classes are used to wrap everything inside and keeps your code clean and invokes dry principle. And finally, you need to learn asynchronous behavior. That is very important in Flutter because imagine if you are calling an API from the server, so you will not get it right away. You need to wait for the response from the server and you don't want your code to be stuck at the time of fetching. So here you need asynchronous behavior that allows you to wait and execute the next instructions till the fetching has been completed. And once the fetching completes, then it will show you the data. So this is all what you need to know about Dart programming language. After you learn all these concepts in Dart, then you are ready to jump into Flutter. Now first of all, you need to set up the installation of Flutter. Basically, you need an Android Studio and a code editor that can be anyone, but I prefer Visual Studio Code by Microsoft because it is the most popular out there and that is quite user friendly and easy to set up. Now this was the installation process of Flutter. You can see the changes and live view of your app with hot reloading side by side. If you don't want to create an emulator, maybe your device is not supported, then you can also use a physical device to view your app while you are developing. So this was the first step towards Flutter, that you need to set up the development environment. Now after that, you are good to go into the actual part of creating applications using Flutter. So the core of Flutter framework is widgets. Widgets are further divided into stateless and stateful widgets. Now stateless are those widgets that don't have a state, which means they are static. And stateful widgets are those that have state, which means they are dynamic and can accept the data dynamically. You should know how to handle user inputs and forms and collect the data. After that, you need to learn debugging in Flutter, like how to insert breakpoints in your code, how to do stack tracking, etc. Debugging basically allows you to correct the errors that can be logical or syntax errors. After that, you need to know how to call an API, fetching the data and sending the data back. Then you should be familiar with error handling, like what happened if your code has got an error, what message you want to display, etc. Your next step should be implementing the database because you don't want the data to be lost. You need to learn how to integrate database and implement the features like authentication that ensures that a correct person has access to your app, the data storage and account syncing features, like once the user has logged into your app, they can't get logged out immediately when they close the application. You should also be familiar with setting up the real-time database system. You can use Firebase for that because it allows you to perform all these stuff related to database and handles the backend of your app with very less code and serverless benefits. After that, another important thing to know about is navigation. This allows your application to access the feature of moving between the screens, and by integrating it gives a lot of power to your app. After that, you need to learn how to make your app design into responsive so that it looks perfect on various devices. This is again very important aspect of app development using Flutter. Moving ahead, you need to learn about state management, as this is the most confusing part in Flutter, but once you spend some time and understand the concepts, then you can very easily be using states in your application. Basically, states are used in your app to play with the data. Like, you can use states to set the data and change the data dynamically. Then you need to learn about different packages and how to use them in your project. Basically, packages are the pre-written codes that allows you to plug in some functionality in your app. After that, you should know a little about testing, because this is the software development rule that you should follow in order to create highly efficient and super fast applications. This includes unit testing, widget testing, etc. After that, another important thing in app development is animations. By integrating animations in your app will make it quite professional and more user friendly. Then you need to know about how to deploy an app to app stores. It should be Android or iOS, and you are done. If you followed all the steps that I have shown in this video, then you can call yourself a Flutter developer. Now what I recommend is that once you understand all these concepts, then you should try building more and more apps and apply all those concepts in your app, as this will strengthen your skills and ultimately you will be able to become a Flutter expert. So this was a complete roadmap of Flutter in 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. For more videos like this, make sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and also press the bell icon next to it so that you never miss our future videos. At the end, thanks a lot for watching and have a nice day.